Welcome to another edition of the Panic Chamber, now set to drop every Tuesday night, going forward from now through the entire season. Panic Chamber Tuesdays, baby. And tonight, we're talking Mr. Austin Ekeler. You are entering the Panic Chamber Austin Ekeler edition. Let's roll.
You are entering the Panic Chamber, brought to you by Grindhouse. Vintage movie tees and hoodies.
Grindhouse.com. Check them out. Amazing hoodies.
You are entering the Panic Chamber, brought to you by Grindhouse.
So Austin Ekeler is a player that is very hard to let go of. He's been absolutely magical for a long time in the NFL, but that's the problem, right? He's played 6 years in the NFL. Shelf lives are about 4 to 6 years in the NFL. So Ekeler's at his end. Whether he has one more year or not, that will be the tough call here. Are we jumping a year early? Are we jumping a year late if we believe in him? I tend to err on the side of caution in these situations because I don't want to be left holding the bag. I don't want to be left holding the bag when I can get a player I like as much, if not in some cases more, that doesn't have the same risk as Austin Ekeler. That's really what it's all about. When we take a look at where we're drafting Ekeler in 2023, his ADP is right around this like 10, 11, 12 territory. Underdog ADP has him, by the way, Underdog Fantasy promo code Smitty. They'll match up to $100 in your first deposit, and we do all of our live drafts on Thursdays, Fridays, and Saturdays using Underdog. But on Underdog Fantasy, this guy Austin Ekeler is coming in around number 11 overall. So that means we're drafting him right around this 10, 11, 12 area. And you might say, well, that's worth it, Smitty, based on what he's been doing. If he does deliver what he's been delivering, you're going to smash. And there is some truth to that. But look at these other players that are right around the territory. If someone's contemplating Ekeler at like 7 or 8, give me Bijan all day long. If he even falls, because he'll have an ADP clearly of number 7 overall walking into May 10. May 10, he is number 7 overall. So if you're thinking about Ekeler at 7, 8, 9, Bijan's the pick. If you're thinking about Ekeler in this 10, 11, 12 territory, give me Garrett Wilson, give me JT, give me Stephon Diggs, or better yet, give me a trade. If you're not playing in best ball, you're playing in a redraft league or a dynasty league or whatever. Dynasty, obviously, Ekeler's a lot lower. But in a redraft league, let's say you're drafting at number 11 overall, number 10 overall, and you're like, I don't know if I want to take a Garrett Wilson that early, and I don't blame you. Or I don't know if I want to go with Lamb or AJ Brown, the guys that are going extremely high. I mean, you take a look at some of these players right here, AJ Brown, Devontae Adams, CeeDee Lamb, all players we like, but are they any better than Amon-Ra St. Brown down here? Any better than Chris Olave at the end of the day? If it's me, I'm trying to trade my first round pick to acquire a new pick in mid-round 2, and let's say they give me a pick in round 4. So I'd easily surrender my Austin Ekeler draft selection to get a Chris Olave and a Drake London, a second and a fourth rounder for my first round pick. Easiest smash in the world. Or maybe even better, you get a Joe Burrow in round 4, you get an Olave in round 2 for your first rounder. Maybe you give up a 5th rounder or a 6th rounder in compensation. The point is, I like Olave and more better than Ekeler, so I'm trading out of this pick. Aside from JJ, Chase, and Bijan, McCaffrey for redraft, but I still have my concerns about him staying healthy. Maybe Tyreek Hill. You can call me crazy all you want, but I love guys like Garrett Wilson and Olave almost as much as everybody else in this territory, aside from Bijan and everybody I named. Meaning that if I have a pick that I can't get one of those guys and I still have a first rounder, I want out. If I can trade, I want out. Not that I would do this, but even in a worst case scenario where you're like, I want out, and you say to yourself, okay, I've got a 3rd and 4th round offer for my number 8 overall, and you can't get Bijan or any of the players I named. So you're looking at Diggs and AJ Brown. I love both of them. Devontae Adams, I'm not big on Adams this year because of his situation, Jimmy G. But CeeDee Lamb, I like him. Diggs, AJ Brown, I love both of them. But do I love both of them more than players I can get in round 2? I don't. That's why I'm trading out. And let's say in a worst case scenario, I do recommend getting a 2nd and a 4th, but maybe a 3rd and a 4th straight up for the number 8 overall in the first round. Maybe you don't have to surrender a 2nd pick. You literally do a 2 for 1 because you're letting the person keep their 2nd rounder. This would be like a worst case scenario. Would you do this trade? You're getting only a 3rd and a 4th for only a number 8 overall. Again, what if you're getting a Joe Burrow? What if you're getting a Drake London early in round 3? Would you take Drake London and Joe Burrow for Austin Ekeler? I know I would.
You've just been Smitty approved.
And I don't want anyone to think I wouldn't get the max value. I'm just saying in a worst case scenario where you're having trouble trading out of number 7 or 8 or 9, where you're stuck. I don't know that I like any of these guys as a first round pick. This would be your bottom option, and it is still fire. And if you don't want to go quarterback, Najee Harris falls to 4 all the time. Or put Drake London back in the 4th round, which is easily where he goes. This is where you can easily get him every time. So put Drake London here and give me Jahmyr Gibbs. Give me Jahmyr Gibbs and Drake London over Austin Ekeler all day, every single day. Every single time I'm asked this question, I hit.
You've just been Smitty approved.
In fact, if I was given this situation here, Gibbs and Drake London for Austin Ekeler, listen to what I'm saying, a 3rd and a 4th round pick, very doable. I think the person with the 3rd and 4th round pick, if you said I'm going to give you just the number 8 overall, I want both your 3rd and 4th rounders, you wouldn't have to give another pick back. It could literally be a 2-for-1. If you told me I could get Jahmyr Gibbs, and I know I can, right now in round 3, I think he climbs to round 2 by the end of it. When we get to August 1, I would not be shocked if Gibbs lived in the 15 to 20 overall range. But right now, Gibbs lives in round 4, the top of round 4. Gibbs lives at least at the bottom of round 3. You can get Gibbs and Drake London for Austin Ekeler. In fact, throw Ekeler out of this entire situation and just say, let's say you get the number 7 to 12 pick overall anyway. Let's say you're sitting at number 7. You didn't get Bijan, he went 6. You didn't get Chase, you didn't get JJ. You could still get Tyreek Hill. You could still get Cooper Kupp, even if you have pick 5. Let's say somebody goes really early on Bijan. You can't get Bijan, you can't get Chase, you can't get JJ. Those are picks I love in the first round. I don't want the first round pick. Not if I can get a Gibbs and a Drake London, even for Tyreek Hill, even for Cooper Kupp. This doesn't have to just be for an Austin Ekeler type situation. Give me Gibbs and London all day long. And tell me in the comments if you'd rather have the number 7 overall pick if Bijan, Chase, and JJ weren't there. Tell me you wouldn't rather have Gibbs and London in redraft. It's an absolute smash. In fact, it's more of a got him moment. If you pull this trade off,
got him.
There's a couple things going against Austin Ekeler. We've talked about the fact that he's played a massive amount of seasons for an RB. Shelf lives are short for RBs. You look at this career log and you say, does he have one more season left? Am I going to get lucky? Or will I be left holding the bag? He's 28 years old. The kiss of death for a running back is 28 years old. Derrick Henry defied it last year. Doesn't mean it's going to happen again. This is a smaller type running back. He has a smaller build. He came into the league. He was not a workhorse back between the tackles. He turned into that when the Chargers, got rid of Melvin Gordon and leaned on Ekeler. They leaned on Ekeler as a workhorse back. He's been fantastic. 915 yards on the ground last year. In 2021, 911 yards on the ground. 200 carries per season, 13 touchdowns on the ground, 12 touchdowns on the ground. Clearly, Austin Ekeler understood the assignment in his new workhorse role the last 2 seasons. But that doesn't mean he's going to stay healthy. He's a smaller back being fed massive volume that would have us concerned about a bigger running back walking into this year. After the amount of seasons he's played, 6 seasons in the NFL, we'd be worried about a big back walking into year 7. The shelf life is very short for RBs. I would much rather be safe in this situation than sorry when there's so much other amazing talent around his ADP. Or in the example I gave you, trading out of the pick to get 2 better players at the end of the day. Kenneth Walker's fallen to round 4 right now, and sometimes round 5. Would I rather have Kenneth Walker? I'll draft Charbonnet later, and Gibbs over Ekeler? 100%. Would I even rather have Burrow and Walker over Ekeler? 100%. And again, I would take Charbonnet. What about Fields and Watson? 100%. Granted, I'd rather have Burrow in round 4, but this combination absolutely crushes whatever player you're taking in round 1, unless it's Chase, JJ, and Bijan. And you could even argue that these 2, or in my favorite combination, these 2 are better than anybody in round 1. One could argue that this is a better combination, Gibbs and Burrow in 3 and 4, a 3rd round pick and a 4th round pick over even the number 1 overall. You could argue it. You could certainly argue a 2nd rounder. You could 100% argue Olave and Gibbs. Olave and Gibbs for the number 1 overall pick, even if we took Austin Ekeler out and you said, I got the number 1. I get JJ or Jamar Chase. Who wants it? Give me a 2nd and a 3rd rounder. I'll give you a 7th or 8th rounder back. I'm giving you number 1 overall and a 7th rounder or a 6th rounder. You give me your 2nd and 3rd. I get Olave, I get Gibbs, and I got you.
Got him.
Austin Ekeler, You are in the panic chamber. Get on over to thefantasyfootballshow.com for all your content, year-round content. Not, we're going to update our rankings in a draft kit here in July. Just hang tight. This is 365, 24/7, bold predictions, video courses coming soon, trade calculators, one-on-one text advice, and rankings like you can't believe. Superflex, redraft, dynasty superflex, dynasty redraft, just regular redrafts, regular dynasty, super rookie, rookie only. You name it, we got it. I'm live Monday through Friday, every single Monday through Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern. I'm live whenever news breaks. And our mock draft marathons and live draft marathons are every Thursday, Friday, Saturday, starting at midnight, every single week from now until week 1. Panic Chambers will be Tuesday, late night going forward. Daily uploads. You know what you're looking at here. Your one-stop shop. Now get out of here.
This is the Fantasy Football Show with your host, Smitty.